Hi friends, Miss Kristi here, and I am so excited to be together again cooking in the kitchen. Today we are learning how to make an avocado crunch. This great snack uses just 5 ingredients plus a little salt and pepper, and it's no bake. We just assemble some ingredients together and we make ourselves the perfect little snack. We're gonna have fun making this together today, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, the first step to cooking and working in the kitchen is to wash our hands. While I wash my hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, let's go over the ingredients and supplies that you'll need to gather to cook along today. The ingredients you'll need are 1 rice cake, half an avocado, 1 tablespoon of hummus, 1 tablespoon of sliced almonds, half a teaspoon of olive oil, and a pinch of salt and pepper. The supplies you'll need are a plate, 1 tablespoon, half a teaspoon, and a butter knife. Okay, great. Your hands are clean and my hands are clean. We've gathered our ingredients and supplies, so let's get started making our avocado crunch. I love a good crunchy snack, and this is actually something I make quite a bit throughout the week for myself. It's just a good rice cake snack. So the first thing you're going to do is grab your plate and put that in front of you. That's where we will make everything on. This is no bake, so we just need to assemble it on our plate. So grab your plate and then go ahead and grab your 1 rice cake. Now for the rice cake, usually you'll see 2 sides, a more flat side and then a side that's usually the top that kind of has a little bit more divots in it. I actually flip it over and use the bottom because it's flatter and it helps spread my ingredients a little bit easier. Doesn't really matter, but if you want to pick a side, I use the bottom side up. So go ahead and put your rice cake right in front of you on the plate. And now you're going to grab your 1 tablespoon. It's the big one like this that we're using. It says 1 TBSP, and your hummus and your butter knife. So we need 1 tablespoon of hummus. Now when you make this for yourself, if you get comfortable, you don't necessarily have to measure out the ingredients. You can just spread some on. But if you like to know how much to use to start with, I'm gonna put a tablespoon of hummus on. So just taking my 1 tablespoon, gonna measure out about a tablespoon of hummus. It doesn't have to be perfect, this isn't baking, so we can just use the ingredients that we have. Try to get the best of your ability. So I have a tablespoon of hummus here. You can put any extra to the side. I'm gonna grab my butter knife and I'm just going to spread this on. Now keep your tablespoon because we'll measure out some almonds in a minute. So keep that near you. I'm just going to take my knife and spread this all over the bottom of my rice cake. Rice cakes you can use for so many different things. I know we've done an episode with a peanut butter and chocolate chips on it. So this is just a more savory rice cake. And if you like avocados and almonds and crunchy things, definitely give this a try. So I've spread my 1 tablespoon of hummus on the bottom of my rice cake, and now I'm going to add my avocado. So I'm gonna move this to the side a little bit. Grab a ripe avocado so you'll know if it's ripe. It's this dark green color. When you push on it, it gives in, so the skin lets you push on it a little bit. Also, the top of the very top of the pit comes out pretty easily, so the little top. Now I just need half of an avocado. So I'm going to take the same butter knife that I used for my hummus, and I'm going to put my avocado right in front of me. If you want to use a cutting board, you can. We're not actually going to cut into anything that would touch the counter, so if you have a cutting board, great. If not, you don't necessarily have to have it. So I basically just cut down one side, and then I turn it around, and I cut down the other side. Okay. And now, set your knife to the side for just a second. I usually twist it like if you were opening an Oreo, so twist one side towards you, one side away, and that usually breaks up where the pit is. Now, because I'm only using half an avocado, I'm going to save the side with the pit. When you keep the pit in there, believe it or not, it keeps your avocado fresh just a little bit longer. So you would put this in a baggie, put it in some Tupperware, pop it back in the fridge and use it later in the day or definitely by tomorrow, but don't throw it away. So save the side with the pit, and now we're just going to use the other side. Grab your butter knife, and you're just going to get half of this avocado onto your rice cake. So however you feel most comfortable getting your avocado out of its peel. If you have a spoon, you can use a spoon. Sometimes you can just take a butter knife and just scoop it carefully along the bottom of your avocado. And without getting any skin, so the black part is that skin, you just pop it right on there. If there's a little bit more in there, just scoop it out. Now, usually when I make this snack, I usually make 2 of them at a time and I use the whole avocado, so just know you can do that as well. So grab all the avocado you can out of your skin and put your peel to the side. And basically from here, I'm just taking my knife and spreading this out a little bit. So I'm giving it some little cuts in there. Now, depending on the size of your avocado too, maybe you'll have this much avocado, maybe you'll have a little bit less if your avocado was a bit smaller. But all I'm doing now is just smushing it down a little bit, just so it makes it easier to bite into when we go to eat it. But if you love avocado like I do, this is a really fun snack. And I love a good crunchy snack, so the fact that it's on a rice cake and we're gonna add a couple almonds to it is really exciting. All right, so I've just spread this out a little bit to cover my entire rice cake. Now you can put your butter knife to the side because we are done using that. We just needed it to cut our avocado, spread a few things around. And now we're going to add just a pinch of salt and pepper. Now, how do we do that? Grab your salt. I'm gonna pour a little bit out in my hand, just a little mound. Grab a pinch and sprinkle it on. If you don't feel like that's enough salt, you can add more. You could always just shake it on as well, but if you're like me and you just want a pinch of it, that's how I do a pinch. I pour a little bit in my hand, pinch it, and then sprinkle it on. You can brush the rest off. Put your salt to the side. Now the same thing with our pepper. Just going to dump a little bit out in my hand, just a small mound, enough to pinch. And then grab a pinch and sprinkle it on. Now from here, sometimes I even add like a Cajun seasoning or maybe some red pepper flakes. If you have any other seasonings that you usually enjoy, go ahead and throw it on there, try it. This is a very customizable snack, so whatever you find that you like, definitely give it a try. That's the joy when you cook for yourself in the kitchen. But for this time, I'm just gonna put some salt and pepper on, and now I'm gonna add a bit more crunch because I love a good crunchy snack. So I'm going to add almonds on it. So I'm going to grab my almonds, and then I'm just going to use the same tablespoon that I used before for my hummus. Just going to scoop out about a tablespoon of sliced almonds. Maybe you have peanuts at home, a different type of nut that you like. I like almonds. They're very heart healthy. They're going to give you a little bit of protein too, so they're going to fill you up. So I'm just putting some sliced almonds right on top. Might have to scoop it out with your clean fingers because we had hummus in there, so it might stick to your tablespoon. But again, we just grabbed the tablespoon, said 1 TBSP, the only big one that we're using like that today. And I put a tablespoon of sliced almonds on top. You can put the extra almonds to the side. You can also put your tablespoon to the side. We are done using that. And the very last thing that I do, which is completely optional, it gives it a little bit more of heart-healthy fats, is I drizzle some olive oil on it. If you don't have olive oil, maybe you have avocado oil, or you don't have any oil in your house, you can skip this step, but I just like to add a little drizzle of olive oil at the end. So I've grabbed my half a teaspoon, it's not a lot, it says 1/2 TSP. I'm just going to measure out half a teaspoon carefully of olive oil. You could also use avocado oil, add a bit more avocado. The olive oil has a bit different taste, so it's gonna add another layer of flavor, which is why I like to use that. All I'm going to do is take my half a teaspoon and just drizzle it all over top. And you don't need a lot. Oil goes a long way. You can put your half a teaspoon aside. We are done with that. You can put any extra avocado oil or olive oil to the side. We are done with that. But this is it. We have our avocado crunch little cake that we've made from our rice cake. So simple, it's no bake. It only took us a few minutes to put together. It's gonna fill you up from the protein and the avocado and the nuts. It's a great crunchy snack, so I do hope you try and make it, or try and make it again. And when you do, let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment, let me know if you have any questions. You can even send me a picture of how your avocado crunch turned out. Maybe you did add a different ingredient to it. I'd love to see your creation, and maybe we can share it next week. Now, speaking of next week, on next week's episode, which is episode 99, we are learning how to make a cheesy egg bagel. This great breakfast uses just 5 ingredients, and it only takes a few minutes to put together. In order to cook along and make our cheesy egg bagel next week, these are the ingredients that you'll need to have in your kitchen. 1 bagel, 2 eggs, 1 slice of your favorite cheese, 1 tablespoon of cream cheese, and 1 tablespoon of milk. Well, friends, our time together today is almost over. I do hope you have enjoyed learning how to make one of my favorite snacks, an avocado crunch cake. I know I had fun, and I already can't wait to cook together again next time. But before you say goodbye to this episode, make sure to click subscribe if you haven't already. You just have to click the little picture of me in the corner. That way you don't miss next week's episode. It'll be out on Friday, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends. It's time to eat.